Okay, so for today's deep dive, we're jumping straight in. The big picture in modern true crime resolution, it's shifted.
It really has. We used to focus so much on, individual deception. Did they lie? Was the polygraph right?
Right, chasing that hidden truth. But now, it feels like we're correcting systemic problems, right? Institutional failures that kept cases cold for, well, decades.
Exactly. And our sources really back this up. The main limit on solving cold cases today. It's not usually the passage of time. It's not even always deteriorating DNA.
So what is it then?
It's the adoption of new tech and maybe more importantly, the proper application of it, plus just basic evidence management, keeping track of things.
Okay, let's unpack the big one. Forensic investigative genetic genealogy, FGG. Most people have heard of CODIS, the DNA database, but that's for direct matches, isn't it? Killer's DNA has to be in the system.
Correct. Hit or miss. If they're not in CODIS, you hit a wall. FGG is different. It uses those consumer ancestry databases like 23andMe or Ancestry DNA data.
The ones people use to find relatives.
Exactly. But FGG looks for distant relatives, third cousins, fourth cousins, sometimes even further out. Then investigators build family trees to zero in on a suspect.
That shift from needing a direct match to just needing a relative in a database, it's huge.
It's everything. It really kicked off this new era. The case that sort of opened the floodgates legally was the Golden State Killer, Joseph James DeAngelo.
Arrested in 2018, a massive breakthrough.
Absolutely. But there are other cases that show the gap between old and new even more starkly.
Like the Esther Gonzalez case you mentioned from the sources in 1979.
Yes, exactly. Esther Gonzalez, 17 years old. Police interviewed a guy, Louis Randolph Williamson, pretty soon after the murder.
Yeah.
And they cleared him. Why? Because he passed a polygraph test.
Passed a polygraph, wow.
45 years go by, they use FGG on the crime scene DNA, and boom, it points straight to Williamson. Perfect match.
45 years later, proving the polygraph was just wrong.
Completely wrong. It highlights just how fallible those older subjective tools were. We really have to question conclusions reached before objective DNA science became standard.
Okay, so FGG is this powerful tool, solves the science issue in many cases, but it throws up a whole load of other problems, doesn't it? Ethical, legal.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. You upload your DNA to find your great aunt. You might be inadvertently giving up the genetic privacy of hundreds of relatives. People you don't even know.
Because your DNA overlaps with theirs.
Precisely. And law enforcement access often hinges on this legal idea of abandonment, that you gave up your privacy by spitting in the tube.
Which feels shaky for something as revealing as DNA.
Very shaky. Genetic data isn't just spit, it's your family blueprint, health risks included. So the debate is heating up. Should police need a full probable cause warrant, like for searching your house, instead of just a subpoena to get into these databases?
That Fourth Amendment protection question.
Exactly. It's a major legal and ethical sticking point right now.
And even if we figure out the ethics, there's still the messiness of old cases, right? The practical stuff.
You nailed it. Organizational decay. Call it entropy. Cases files get lost, stored badly. Evidence standards were all over the place back then. Chain of custody issues.
So the evidence might exist, theoretically, but it's buried in a box somewhere or split across 3 different police departments?
That's the reality in a lot of historic cases. The technology can't help if you can't find the properly preserved evidence to test. It's a huge barrier.
We also have to talk about true crime media. It seems like a double-edged sword.
It really is. Sometimes journalism brings vital attention, generates leads, like happened with the Golden State Killer, actually. Citizen detectives helped. But the flip side is dangerous. Uncontrolled crowdsourcing, especially online. Remember the Boston Marathon bombing?
Oh, yeah. The Reddit investigation.
Right. They wrongly identified innocent people, like Sunil Tripathi. The damage to reputations, the personal toll.
Yeah.
It was immense. There's a real risk when enthusiasm outruns accuracy.
Yeah. So wrapping this up for you listening, what's the main takeaway? The science is often there now, isn't it?
Pretty much. The technology, like FGG, is incredibly powerful. The biggest hurdles slowing down justice today. They're often organizational, finding the files, the evidence, their financial rest. These tests aren't cheap, and the regulatory less today. The laws and ethics are still catching up.
The system needs to adapt to the science we already have.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on.
Given that your genetic data paints a picture of your entire family, their health, their relationships, should the bar for law enforcement access be higher? Should getting into those consumer genealogy databases for FGG require a full probable cause warrant, just like searching your home, instead of the lower standard often used now? Something to consider.